Mic check 1 2 1 2. Okay. What's up, YouTube? What's happening? Oops. Trying to go somewhere and I ain't got the key turned. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna first start off this video by apologizing to my viewers, what little bit of viewers I have. But I appreciate every one of you. And I'm apologize to you because I did something I said I wasn't going to do. I was asking for money and subs. Well, not money, but yeah, basically with my Patreon. And reason being is because I fell into that little YouTube stigma, as I'll call it, that you know, you got to be a success at YouTube and have 1 million followers and all that bullshit. And that's not what I'm here for. So I apologize. I said I was here to help the people that couldn't afford to do this thing on the big boy level, like the guys with all the money. And that's what I'm going to do. And even though I let my pockets finesse me into trying to recoup from YouTube, I kind of lost focus. And this YouTube thing, I already know. I knew that going, that this wasn't going to, how you doing? This wasn't going to line my pockets. You got to have millions of subscribers and all that kind of stuff to have a reasonable source of income from this. And I know that wasn't happening. So I don't even know how I fell into that damn trap. But I actually watched this dumbass video on how to, you know, how to build up your fan base and this and that and all that. And I shouldn't even been watching that shit, because honestly, I had to dig down deep and realize that that ain't my purpose. That ain't what I'm after. And I don't even know how I got caught up in that shit. Cause see, that thing had me being somebody that I wasn't. I mean, for the most part, I was being pretty real, but there were a few things that I was doing that really wasn't me. Like that, what's up, guys, and all that guy stuff. Man, I don't talk like that. You know, so I got to go back to keeping shit real. And being real, I got a potty mouth from time to time. I am going to work on that, because that's not a good thing. I want younger people to be able to watch my videos. So, I mean, I'm definitely going to work on that just as a person. That ain't got nothing to do with YouTube. But, yeah, man, that had me trying to cater to people that I'm really not concerned about catering to be honest. Because most of them people, they don't need to be on my channel trying to figure out how to do stuff for the low. They got that bread. So like I said, I'm here for the common people, the people that ain't got that dough, and trying to figure out how to do some things. And if I want to get any income from this, it won't be from YouTube. It'll be from fixing and repairing bikes on the side. And I see that already because I'm getting work that I wasn't even looking for. But it's a good thing because I ain't gonna lie to you. I mean, I could use money just like everybody else. And I damn sure can't sit home on my ass making videos all day and think that's gonna take care of me and my family. So, yeah, I'm grateful for that. But all I got to do with that is keep on doing what I'm doing and making these videos, teaching people how to do stuff and showing that I actually know how to do this stuff. So people will bring me work, and I'll let that work that I get on the side, you know, take care of my finances. So I don't give a damn about my subscriber count anymore anyway. Because in the beginning, when I did it, I was like, man, if people going to watch me, they're going to watch me. If they're going to sub, they're going to sub. I ain't going to be at the beginning of videos begging for subs and all that shit. And at the end, that shit ain't me. I don't beg for shit. I go and get mine. So I just want to say that and get back to being me and doing what I do. Now, if I'm going to lose some subs or some people that watch my videos because I'm me, oh well. Most likely I wouldn't deal with none of y'all clowns anyway on the street. So we wouldn't be friends anyway. So ain't no need of me being fake and getting no fake friends. I mean, the same way I am in real life is the same way I want to be here on my platform. I don't want to be fake, and I don't want a whole bunch of fake ass people around me. And that's just that. So anyway, yeah. So I apologize to all my real people that like what I do and accept me for being who I am. I appreciate you guys. But I'm not about to turn phony. And I felt like I was turning phony just a little bit, just on some words that I was using and some ways I was trying not to be so rough around the edges. But the fact is, I'm a little rough around the edges. There ain't no doubt about that. I'm from Baltimore. And unfortunately, yeah, I grew up like that. And that's what I had to be in order to survive. I made it to being 50 where the rats is bigger than the cats. And when I say where the rats is bigger than the cats, yeah, I mean that shit. If a lot of you guys knew my background and where I came from, you probably wouldn't want to deal with me anyway. But just because I'm from there doesn't mean that I am that. Not to contradict what I say, but that doesn't mean I'm a bad person or anything, because I'm from a bad environment. You know, just like I mean, I never really fit or, you know, felt like I belonged where I was, because I did things that most of those guys in my area didn't do. You know, I was into all kinds of stuff that they would try to clown me about, like my little nerdy stuff like CB radio and electronics and RC cars, and I was into all of that. But I didn't care about them and what they thought, and I ain't gonna care about some of these YouTube people and what they think. So that being said, let's get back to being real, and all that shit about trying to get subscribers and bring me 5 subs. Man, fuck that. I'm sorry. Excuse my French on that, but yeah, the hell with that shit. I ain't begging for nothing. So either you like me or you don't. Either you will or you won't. Just that simple. All right, so let's get back to this e-bike stuff. Frank rocking and rolling that big old muscle tire on the back. And it really ain't as bad as I made it out to be. It's just that, like I said, I try to keep Frank a little classy. That's why I got my little Benz insignia on there, and that's the reason why I like Benzes, because they are smooth and quiet. They don't make a whole lot of noise, but they do an awful lot of damage. Just like my little old school E55, I don't have all them mufflers and pipes on there like these young kids got, man. I can't stand that shit. It sounds terrible. I hate all that damn loud noise. I roll up on them Hellcats and them Camaros and all the rest of that stuff that's making all that loud noise, and I beat them down like they stole something, nice and quiet, calm and collect. But yeah, that's how I do it to them. So same way here. I don't want all that loud noise, and I don't like I like my tires making that whirl sound, but this is a little too much. And like I said, it take away my cruisability. Just a little too much rolling resistance. Now Frank got enough power to get that thing turning, but when I come up off the throttle, Frank used to cruise, man. I could haul ass down this little strip right here, and then get off the throttle, and Frank would coast all the way to the end of the parking lot, where I gotta start going uphill again. Nah, not with this big wheel on the back. And it ain't the size of the wheel, because if it was a big, smooth wheel, it wouldn't be no problem. It's that these knobs got those flat spots on it, man. And it totally takes away from the roundness of my tire. It's like I got flat spots in it. Flat, 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 flat. I mean, yeah. It's a serious tire, but it's definitely for motocross, and that's what kind of tire it is. I don't know what I was thinking when I pulled the trigger on that. I should have known better, but the problem was all the other lightweight motorcycle tires that I was looking at, weren't none of them fat. They didn't have that width that I was looking for. I didn't want to change both of my tires and downsize, because I think the fattest ones was like 3 inches. 3 inches wide. And I didn't want to have a little skinny tire on the back and a fat tire on the front. So I was trying to find something that was wide and meaty. And it didn't necessarily have to be meaty, but just wide. And unfortunately, the only thing that I found wide was that motocross tire that I got back there. And yeah. And see, when I'm riding on like this dirt, it's fairly smooth. Can't feel none of that. As soon as I hit that blacktop, though, it's a whole different ball game. But it's perfect for this stuff, though. But this ain't where I'm gonna be riding with Frank. So anyway, I'm gonna turn back around, because I ain't about to burn up a whole lot of battery back there in the trails and get Frank all dirty again. I said Frank was a pavement prince. I had to clean Frank up. And one more thing, I had put up a video of me slapping a little aftermarket controller on that Super 73, because I just wanted to show people that it could be done. But at the same time, I watched that video myself. I realized that I was being repetitive and damn near delirious out of my mind. And that's because I hadn't had any sleep, any good sleep, in a couple of days, man. I've been going and going and going. And I was up pretty much all night. And when I stay up like that, man, I get delirious and start talking out of my head and sound like a crazy person. So, yeah, when I watched that after I had resurrected myself, I was like, God damn, I think I was crazy if I watched me on that. But anyway, needless to say, I did put an aftermarket controller on that Super 73 because I wanted to test out the motor and broke my little e-bike tester. Look at that. I couldn't even coast down this hill with this tire. I mean, I almost came to a complete stop. But yeah. So come to find out that that Super 73, the motor is bad too. But I'm hoping it's not actually the motor itself. And I don't think the motor itself is bad, meaning the stator and the coils. Hopefully not. But it could be, and that could be due to water damage. It could be all nasty and rusted out in there and oxidized. Who knows? I'm going to pop it open. But normally that's what kills the hall sensors. Right now it's got a bad hall sensor in it, so the motor doesn't run right. It shuts off. And most likely one of those hall sensors is shorted out. And by it being shorted, it knocked that little Super 73 controller out. Because they ain't too, they ain't too strong as far as electrically. They can't handle a whole bunch of, roughness, and especially with a shorted motor. It's gonna knock it right out just like it did. So that bike had a bad controller and it's got a bad motor. But one problem led to the other. But you can replace hall sensors. I mean, they're very easy to replace. There's nothing. They're basically a little transistor. I don't know what type of transistors they use for those, but yeah, I mean, I've seen them and looked at them and never had to replace one. But I've seen them. I know what needs to be done to replace it, and it's nothing. So just hopefully I can look at the other ones that aren't shorted, and hopefully I can get a number off of them, because a lot of times when they short and burn up, they get black and smoky. You can't make out the numbers on them. I'm sure I could get that information from somewhere. But anyway, that's where we are with that. And what else? I basically said what I really wanted to say, which was about this subscriber shit, man. I ain't even worrying about that no more, man. And another thing is I said before, I'm impatient. I'm very impatient. Now, I mean, nothing happens overnight. Nobody gets 1 million subs, or I ain't going for no million, man. I'd be happy with it. I'd be happy with just 1,000 right now. But that doesn't happen overnight. And I'm one of the people that I expect everything to happen overnight, or quick, fast, in a hurry. Told you, I don't like standing in lines. I hate traffic. Any place where I gotta wait. If I go somewhere and it's a line, I'm out. I ain't standing no damn line. And that's just how I am. So, I'm getting a little impatient about my subscriber count. And that's because my pockets was making me look for some means of making money. And that definitely ain't it. You can't make a living off of YouTube. Not unless you blow up and be one of the mega channels. And I mean, that's just like becoming an NBA star. That's like getting hit by lightning. That's not going to happen to everybody. So I'm gonna keep keep myself in check and stick with reality-based view account and not even think that I'm going to be able to get into one of them positions of being a super YouTuber, because like I said, my real personality and the way I am is definitely probably not going to let me get there. And not only that, this e-bike stuff just ain't like that. People don't even know what's going on with e-bikes yet. Only us. We're the only ones that's ahead of the curve. But it's slowly gaining traction. But I figure we still got another 2-3 years just before the rest of the world catches up with that. So, yeah. It's not too many e-bike channels that I've seen that has a subscriber count that's something, to make you say, wow. I think to be successful in the e-bike world, you're really successful if you're over 100,000. You got 100K, you doing it in the e-bike world. But yeah, the average person doing e-bike videos, man, they 5,000-10,000 subs, 20,000 subs, that's good. That's about as good as it gets. And it takes people 2 and 3 years to get to that. As you can see, Frank can still get busy, but it's like he's dragging a big anchor. And I ain't gonna keep dragging no anchor. How you doing? You keep dragging no anchor behind Frank. And man, I think the most important thing that I've figured out doing this e-bike stuff, because I told you guys I'm fairly new at this whole e-bike thing. I'm just an experienced electrician. But as far as bikes go, I've still got a whole lot to learn about bikes. But what I was going to say is that internal resistance thing that I just discovered as to why Frank is doing as good as he does with this little off-brand motor, man, that is revolutionary. Because like I said, you do not have to get a MB Power or a QS motor, one of those motors that cost $700-800 by themselves. Yes, them motors can handle a whole lot more power, but guess what? They also require a whole lot more power. And that is the key. That is the most important thing that I've figured out. Because if that motor comes off that truck tomorrow, I think I will be really disappointed when I slap it on here and realize that Frank may not go as fast unless I'm dumping a whole lot more power into it. I know for a fact now, there's no way in the world I'm going to put one of those QS motors on here and Frank is going to do over 40 miles an hour with 43 amps. That I've come to realize. And the fact that Frank is doing over 40 miles an hour with 43 amps is a beautiful thing. Because that gives Frank an awesome range. Because if you're going to have one of them high-power e-bikes and you like the fact that when you look at your watt meter, you burning 8,000 watts. Yeah, sure, that's fine. That's great. That looks like a whole lot of horsepower. But guess what? It takes a whole lot of battery power to run at those watts. So I like having this big old 50 amp hour battery, and with pulling 43 amps with max throttle, I get a lot of range out of it. But if I increase Frank up to the point where he's drawing 150, 200 amps, it's going to suck the life out of that 50 amp hour just like any other battery. So I think I'm going to stay with this little Chinese motor and basically push it, like they say, till the wheels fall off. And I don't even think that's going to happen, because guess what? Not only does it run at a low amount of wattage, but when you're running that low amount of watts, you're not producing a whole lot of heat. This thing doesn't even get hot. I mean, look at that. It's not even warm right now. So yeah, I think we're gonna stay with that, fellas. If anything, I'm gonna put a better controller on here where I'll be able to dump more power into it. But it ain't gonna take a whole lot more power to make this thing rip. So yeah, that is the key. That is the key, fellas. Okay, I'm not sure the person that asked me this question is going to see this video, because I told them I was going to do a little 1 or 2 minute video for them just so they could see. But they was asking me about the kickstand, because these kickstands, the factory kickstands, are some garbage. And the main reason why they're garbage is because they aren't long enough, for one. They're too short. They're too short, and then you have to continue to tighten up those bracket bolts all the time, unless you put some shoot, that thread lock on them. And I put some blue thread lock on those bolts, because those bolts right there would continue to lock up. And I also put this is one of those pedals, those shoot, I forget what they call them, but they put them on the end of the axle so they can stand on a peg, a foot peg. Yeah, it's a foot peg. A foot peg is what that is. And it just happened to be the right diameter that I could slide it on the end of my kickstand. And then I ran some screws through it. And that made my kickstand longer, gave it the length that it really needs, because it was way too short. And the bike leaned over a whole lot. And yeah. So right now, with it being like that, I can actually sit on my bike and take my feet and keep my feet on the pedals, and it will hold me up without falling over. Frank would just fall down if the wind blew before, because he was leaning over too much. And especially since I got 40 pounds worth of batteries up top. Now, that's another thing, fellas. Frank is going over 40 miles an hour with a low amount of current, and he's heavy as fudge. He's heavy as fudge. Frank is heavy, and I didn't realize how heavy Frank was until I lifted up that Super 73. That Super 73 feels like a BMX bike compared to Frank. That Super 73 feels like it's carbon fiber. That's the difference in the weight of Frank and that Super 73. Frank is heavy. Man, I put Frank in the back of my truck by myself, and yeah, I got to put on some Ben Gay after that. Frank ain't no joke. But at the same time, that may be why Frank feels very substantial when I'm riding fast. It doesn't feel like he's too light in the ass and I'm going too fast. He feels nice and solid. So the weight does help when you're going fast. And then somebody said to me, uh, somebody said in the comments, it must be, how did he say it? Oh shit, I can't even think of how he worded it. But he said it must be a pain in the ass or something riding that fast with no suspension. Because he lives in LA and just riding the normal speeds is treacherous on his little stock Zugo. Well, I can say this. Frank is not suspension less. He's got suspension where he needs it in the front. Now, to have no suspension at all would be a daunting task going fast. But like I said, with the fact that Frank has suspension on the front makes it totally doable. And also the fact that I'm down here in Virginia where they have wonderful streets. Now, I'm not used to that myself, but these streets are superb. There ain't no pothole. Man, I understand what you mean by bad streets because I'm from Baltimore and our streets are terrible. They tear your automobiles up. I've always had to put ball joints and new suspension and swing arms and all that stuff on my vehicles because that's how bad the streets are. They tear your car up. Down here, I don't know. I guess I'm living around. I'm living around them other folks where they get their streets taken care of. But you know how it is in the poor neighborhoods. They don't care about your streets, man. Your streets are jacked up. But anyway, I can dig it. But yeah, if you watch any of my videos where me and Frank are going fast, man, it ain't no bumpity bump in these streets down here. And yeah, I've come to appreciate that. Anyway, this video has gone a little over my normal 30-minute mark. So let me go ahead and tell y'all peace and deuces and all that. Oh look, you see my little mic with my dead cat. This is why my audio has improved just a little bit. You don't hear all that wind noise because I got this little cute cat up here. But all right, y'all. Take it easy. Take care. Deuces, me and Frank. We out.